If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing.
We really need that fade.
Welcome to this week's episode of MMA for Marks. I'm Andy. This is my podcast. My co-host, my brother, Ethan.
Irashaimasu, minasan.
There we go. He's be spitting over there. How you guys doing? Thanks for coming this week. We don't have a lot of. We're not going to break down fight cards too much this week. We're going to talk about a lot of news. PFL happened.
Yeah.
UFC fight card coming up. UFC.
And I'm fucking going to.
Ethan's going to be there reporting not live, but he's going to be reporting there live later.
I will be. I got the breakdowns next fucking show. I'll tell you what.
Maybe we could get some individual footage from what you're filming, and you know what I mean.
Cams?
And throw it into the see if Sean could throw in a couple of excerpts. If not, then you guys won't see it at all.
Nah, you know me. I always take plenty of fan cams, dude. Everywhere I go when I go to events, wrestling, MMA, boxing, fucking EDM shows. I got 24,666 pictures on my phone.
God damn!
I looked at it this morning.
Do you have a GoPro or like a body, like a?
No.
Get you a little POV cam.
I'm probably just gonna use that I'm probably gonna use that next time I have a police encounter more than I will for fucking recording MMA shit.
You definitely should use it for a police encounter. They are bulletproof. However, you should definitely next time you get a chance to look at some, you should. But I have an old one. I should send it to you, and you can use it for the fight. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. It might not be enough time. Actually, it's gonna be
no. It wouldn't get there.
Yeah, because they make it with these body mount things.
Yeah. You wear like a vest.
Yeah, you wear like a vest. Yeah, I have it too. So it's pretty. Yeah. Anyway,
I would definitely use it for EDC more than anything. Because the ass at EDC.
Oh, dude. Well, that's the other thing too. Is like you wear something like that, like you know, people want to talk to you. You know, girls might want to be like, "Hey, what are you?
Hey, what are you recording? Us fucking later.
Wild. What's up?
You know, but fucking later on the back shots, baby. Guys, apologies for the hiatus. Life came over. I went to New York. I went to EDC, and I went to New York, and then we're back here. And there was just 1 week where Andy and I just missed each other. That was what it was. But the other 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks, I've been busy with life. But we're back, motherfuckers.
Well, and I lost my voice. It's pretty hard to do a podcast when you lose your voice.
That is true. But that happened the week of EDC. So that was.
Well, no, it happened last week. It happened. It happened last week. Remember, because I was just like, "Hey, I was getting ready to text you." Yeah, because I lost my voice the day of the podcast. So
shit.
Yeah.
So much sucking dick, dude.
Yeah, dude. You know, sucking dick and smoking.
You can't put the dick all in there, dude.
You know, I don't have much dick. The Army taught me the proper technique, so I'm just going by that, dude. So you know what I'm saying?
You mean the Navy taught you? You were hanging out with the Navy?
No, bro. I was in the Army.
That was a Navy joke. That was in the water. That was a Navy. That was a Navy joke where the seamen suck each other off at sea.
So
I just pissed off a quarter of our fan base. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
I wish we had a demographic, dude, of like how many of like the people, because a lot of veterans, they love shit like combat sports. So I wonder how much of our demographic consists of veterans. We have a lot. We have a lot in our group.
You know
what I mean?
Then all the Navy guys just walked out. All the Navy guys just fucking.
Yep.
They just jumped ship, as we like to say.
They went to MMA.
Dude, the inner shit talking between branches is. It's probably if it could be recorded and compilated somehow, it's probably the greatest like.
Oh, you know how many people? You know how many people get canceled?
Like it was live college or political thing, or cancel. Oh,
all of them. All of them.
Yeah. No, there's. I'm glad that ain't all out there. So for sure. I started thinking about myself, like, damn, there's some stuff out there for sure.
Hey, bro.
We've
all made the mistakes.
We've all made those mistakes. Well, not all of us. Some of us to
I
a
definitely
different
have.
degree.
I raise my hand. I will
Some
not
of us
cast the first
have
stone that will be thrown.
you know,
Nope, I will not.
yeah, you know what I mean. Some people have taken much further liberties with themselves. We'll say that much. So,
Let's get
but
started,
anyway,
dude.
let's get this thing started. We got a bunch of shit to talk about. It's kind of a bananas week, to be honest, because there's a lot that happened almost every day this week. But and even with the last weekend, the PFL, I mean, you know, we'll talk about PFL, but I mean, PFL is almost completely non-existent as a fucking anything. Usually, the fact that
that's right.
usually it's a
their
non-story. You know what I mean? It's a
They're
nothing
normally,
burger.
you're right. They're normally not a non-story. I will give them
Mr.
their due when we
Wonderful
talk
says.
about it.
What?
I'll give them their due. You will never. I understand that. I will give them some due, even though I didn't see the card. I will still give them some due.
I didn't say I will never. But
motherfucker, you just said I will never give them their props ever.
Is that what I said?
You straight up basically said that. You're like, if they would crucify you, the only way you'd give props is if like your kids were on the line. I think.
What I said that last episode?
You didn't say that. That's the
okay.
No, you didn't say that last episode. You said that to me on the phone on fucking Sunday, I think.
That was off air, Andy. That doesn't count. That's not the same.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's
Go
not. And I don't remember that, so that never happened. Chael Sonnen. So, all right. First, look, the first thing that caught my mind, you know what I mean? Like, I think the biggest thing of the week, besides the PFL news, is as for UFC, Yuri, Prohaska not out as champion. I mean, relinquished the title. Relinquished / got stripped. Basically, well, UFC was basically like, hey, you could fight it.
I don't believe that because Francis still has the fucking belt in his division. I don't believe that. I think Yuri really fucking out of the goodness of his heart and knowing that he could probably dominate anybody else in that division was like, oh, fuck it. I have my belt. I'll come back and get it.
You're mad sometimes. No, dude. Dana straight up said that they were going to strip him. And so, you know, they let him relinquish the title. But yes, they were going to strip him. It was Dana White said it was literally the worst shoulder injury that the UFC doctors have ever seen.
What constitutes that, though?
I don't think they were going to let him keep the belt.
Have they said that? Like, what constitutes the worst shoulder injury anyone's ever?
It's Dana.
I mean, we've seen motherfuckers get their shit pulled out, you know, all the time, dude. So I mean, what happened here? And the other thing, do we know what happened with because it happened during training? He was wrestling. Do we know did he get caught and he fucking powered out? Was it a freak accident? Like, was he trying to brace himself from a takedown? I'm assuming they're
keeping the details in the gym for the most part. You know what I mean?
I feel like if it was a freak accident, they'd say that. But I think he was he probably got got. He probably got got by somebody, and they didn't want to say these motherfucker got him.
Yeah, some kind of situation. That's what I mean. They're probably trying to keep everything close to the chest. We'll probably find out in 3 or 4 months when no one cares. But you know, I don't. Whatever happened to his shoulder, it was like I said, it was bad enough to where the UFC was just like, okay, well, we're not even going to give you a year. We're not even going to think about an interim title fight, which is to me, I did think that was a perfect
opportunity for a fucking interim.
Right. The UFC loves to fucking give interim title fights right after fucking guys defend belts. It's
basically I'm going to take 6 months interim title.
Hilarious. Dude, not even 6 months, dude. They're literally fucking defend Usman lost the belt to fucking to Rocky. The next fucking week, Ariel Helwani and a couple guys are talking about an interim title fight in the fucking welterweight division. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Well, they're going to be out. You don't know. Yeah, but you don't know. Guys heal up quicker. Those are all just estimate times that they're going to be out. The suspension is to cover. The suspension usually lasts longer than the recovery actually happens.
Sure.
A lot of athletes actually wind up taken off suspension early. That never gets covered.
If the suspension ever goes the entire distance, it's because the fighter wanted it that way. The fighter was like, I'm in no rush and I'm just going to take my time.
Exactly. It also, a lot of guys don't realize this, but those suspensions also provide some of the fighters, especially some of the ones who need more recovery time, with a little bit of insurance so the UFC doesn't try to book them immediately. Because that does happen with some of these guys.
They want to turn you around.
They'll turn you around. Now, I mean, if you're me, I'm like, hey, you want to be turned around because that's probably a good thing. It means
but when it comes to weight cutting and especially how bad UFC is with their weight cutting, you can only peak but so many times, dude. Kevin Holland he's had like 15 fights in the last like 2.5 years or some fucking mad number like that. Dude, his body at some point is just gonna fucking shut down. And we're gonna be, oh, he's unprofessional, he missed weight. No, he just constantly is able to make weight. And over the course of time, your body can only peak for so long before it's like, all right, motherfucker, I'm done. Like I'm
well, we have another story to talk about that kind of has a lot to do with that. That is coming up. But yeah, but either way, this is a huge thing for the light heavyweight division. I mean, 2-3 years ago, John walks away, completely fucking throws the division up on its head.
Yep.
Now the pieces are finally looks like Jan was going to start picking up and becoming some bit of a stable champion. Whoop, that gets fucking turned on its head by Yuri. Then, by Glover, excuse me. And then, Yuri turns it on its head again. You know what I mean? And
well, he didn't meaningfully turn it on its head. It wasn't a John Jones. That was a unfortunate incident. But I get
I'm talking about when he actually won the belt from Glover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He beat Glover. I mean, no one expected that. You know what I mean? Everyone thought Glover was going to go in there and old man him to death, and he didn't. You know what I mean? It was a fucking awesome fight, actually.
It was.
If you never saw that fight, dude, you should go back.
I know. I need to go back. And I said I was going to.
Oh, you haven't seen that fight? What the fuck?
I never went. I was at a
podcast. Tell you what, people. Hey guys, we gotta give this guy some fucking grief. I'm telling you what. This guy right here, this guy's all day the anime, wrestling, and then we don't get no love on the wrestling on the MMA side of things, my man.
I know. You know what it is? I feel like
I try to catch you up as much as I can. I'm so in catch up a lot in the chat, but
yeah, it's the chat really. The chat is what keeps me so in sync, and with Twitter too, because I do when I'm constantly because I do share my articles and such like that, so I'm not completely out the game. I'm just bad when it comes to live events because I'm always doing something on the weekends for the most part, and I enjoy when I get to stay home and I get to watch the events. But lately, it just with my life fucking being all over the place, going to different places and such, like it's tough for me to sit down and of course it never fails. Like every fucking what's it called? EDC, there's always a fucking fight that fucking weekend. Always pisses me off. And just for multitudes of different events that I go to, there's always something that always fucking lands on that fucking event. And it's like, well, god damn it, I bought these tickets 4 months ago. They didn't announce the fucking thing until like 2 months. Right. So I'm asked out, you know what I'm saying? But I do what I can. I don't do a good enough job. I admit that though, for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm just playing around, but yeah, I know you got a lot going on. We all got a lot going on, but yeah. You gotta. There's some fights that we definitely gotta check out. And we definitely have plans. We've talked about it off air before, but we definitely have plans to do like watch-alongs for old UFC events or Pride events and stuff like that, or even like just going through and watching. I think, what would be a real cool idea is if we went and just watched whatever the UFC drop, one Bellator, whoever. All these organizations now drop free content on YouTube almost every lead up to a fight. I mean, we should watch some of these things live. Like we can do shorts where we only come on here and record for 15-20 minutes and just watch that. And put that out. I think that would be cool to do like little shorts and stuff. But of course, that requires more time from the host of the show. So
both of us, I know, dude.
From both of us, So yeah. But getting back to Yuri and the whole situation, and it looks like Yuri could be out for up to 2 years. So I didn't
hear that. I thought it was 1.
It could be 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years. Yeah. So I mean,
dude, that's longer than fucking knees. That's longer than fucking blown ACLs.
They better get that guy to like fucking the best surgeon.
This motherfucker's gonna come out like Bionic Man.
Get him to the guy that operated on Drew Brees, man.
Is that illegal? Because if it's that bad, they're gonna reinforce that shit with like plates and screws. Like, is that?
Do you think they're gonna put titanium, and that guy's gonna come out like Wolverine?
Isn't that some sort of advantage, bro? Isn't that some sort of advantage? Like because one of the things about fighting, whether it's boxing or
them shoulder strikes, shoulder strikes,
and then in the opposite direction, bro. In the opposite direction, one of the best strategies is when you see people miss punches, body punches, head punches. They hit the shoulders, like, oh, it didn't hit him. Over the course of a fight, if you constantly get punched in the shoulder, your shoulder's gonna fucking hurt. Your arms are gonna hurt. Your forearm, wherever you get hit, if you consistently get punched over time, it's going to fucking hurt over a long fight. And so if you're punching titanium, are you really how hurt are you? Maybe not so much.
And I mean, it would be one thing if you were punching steel, maybe even some aluminum, but titanium.
Nah, Chief.
Break your hands, dude. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just break your hands.
Chief. So I mean, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, maybe Bionic Yuri comes back in 2 years and murders everybody. I hope that happens. That would be awesome. God, that would be awesome.
You know he's out for 2 years. You know what he needs, bro? You know what he needs?
He literally came back, dude, and he had like the cyborg eye. Like we just get like the promo. He looks up and it's like one eye is like red.
He needs to come out as Terminator.
Shit.
His first fight needs to come out as Terminator. With the fucking,
he's like the first cyborg MMA fighter.
With the
and
thing,
he's just
dude.
like he has all the Tekken moves. Like he just literally he's just always like this.
Shoulder strike. That would be fucking sick, dude. No, but you know, bro, you know what he needs?
His corner man controls him, right? They're like sitting over there like an
what he needs
PlayStation 5 controller.
You know what he needs over these 2 years?
What?
The Conor McGregor supplement plan.
Yeah. Oh, bro, that guy.
Bro.
Beefed out.
That guy's Conor McGregor supplement plan.
Protein.
Imagine Yuri Prochazka with the Conor McGregor supplement plan. He's gonna come back like Francis Ngannou.
Oh, I just been drinking me proper 12. I be drinking me proper 12. This is Conor now, bro. This is where his shoulders are on his fucking head. Dude, I'll just be drinking.
Conor needs his beard back too. That's another thing. He just looks so fucking weird without his fucking beard. Like it was one thing when he was babyface Conor when he was like 22, 23, just entering the UFC. Nah, he needs his beard back, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, either or, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like a guy. He just gotta whatever look he wants to have. You know what I mean? I feel like he could kind of pull it off. You know, whatever.
He looks so fucking bad with his beard. No,
you think so? With the beard gone?
I
haven't seen a picture of him
recently. What do you mean? You just saw him with a fucking no neck. He's got no beard in that fucking picture.
Does he not have a beard? I didn't even notice.
No, he's got like stubble because he was lazy.
I threw my neck out when I tried that just now. That hurt. I don't know how he did that. But yeah. So let's get back on track here. Yeah. Basically, what's going on is we got a new title fight out of this whole thing. You know what I mean? And it was offered to Glover. Glover said no.
That's the last time the UFC is ever going to fucking help him.
And I feel like he may be thinking, I don't want to take that fight against Anikalaev or If they honestly, I think they should have done the Jan rematch. I think that would have been more than fair.
Made sense. That would have made sense.
But they didn't. So, but yeah, to have Glover reject the title fight, I think is a mistake on his part.
You think Khabib got in Dana's ear? Like, listen, you give it to my Russian. Give it to my Russian. He win belt for you, for us.
I think I'm sure that's what Khabib would say, but I mean, at the end of the day, he does have that win streak.
Yeah,
and he does. He does have that win streak, and so that's pretty hard to argue with.
Yeah,
and regardless of whether you give it to him now or the next fight, he looks like he's gonna be fighting for the title. So, but it has that feel to it where it's just you're just like, well, you got to give it to him because the guy's got the streak and all this stuff like this. Like it's either because we don't know him or I think everyone's just kind of like getting a little sick of this Dagestani wrestling shit. You know what I mean? I think everybody's kind of getting a little sick of this, like,
bro, figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. This, bro, this Dagestan.
Figure it out? You mean be born in Dagestan is what you mean.
Yeah, bro. Wrestle bears and watch people get shot in war. Yeah, that's gonna fucking make you a dominant motherfucker.
I don't know if there's any figuring it out. I think there's just waiting it out.
This is like, honestly, Dagestani wrestling to me feels a little bit less than, but similar to like the jiu-jitsu wave of the 90s. When like
I'm not saying it's not good. But jiu-jitsu didn't dominate in every weight division. At this point, I think you're starting to see where it's dominating at so many weight divisions where it's like it's not that it's not good. It's just that these guys aren't entertaining, and that's just a fact of it. They're not entertaining.
They're winning belts. Winning belts means winning money, getting money.
I know, but it's just like Floyd. It's like, it's like.
Well, what Floyd, bro,
You watch Floyd.
Yeah.
Fight 12 rounds so you can watch him fucking do 30 seconds
why
of highlight.
Bro, why
everyone knows what I'm talking about.
You know why people watch that though? Because the same reason why I used to watch Floyd Mayweather pay-per-views. I wanted to see him lose. People will buy shows buy pay-per-views to see people lose. People
But
watch Tyron Woodley for years to watch him lose.
Yeah, but it's different with Floyd because people the inherent thought is he's not going to lose. Like that is the whole sale of the fight. Like that's the whole thing is he's not going to lose, and you know it. And
it depends on who he faces.
The only little tidbit you get is if he loses. That might be.
It's why people buy Canelo pay-per-views. They want to see him lose. It's the same thing, bro. Domination. People will buy.
But it's not the same because Canelo lost. He's not as dominant as he's not like nobody's like Floyd. I shouldn't have said Floyd. Floyd's in a basket.
When you see somebody when you see somebody on that level, that like next level, you always want to see them lose. And Dagestani wrestling is the next level. It's the boring evolution of dominance in combat sports right now.
It's the swing.
You want to see people overcome that. You want to see somebody overcome that. In every single division that has a Dagestani champion, you want to see that person overcome it. In most instances, especially in places like Bellator and shit, like where that there's no competition that equates that, you probably won't see that. In the UFC is the biggest opportunity for you to find a hope to be able to beat that. And that's wrong.
I think for me. I think these guys are invading like more than Ukraine. They're taking over. Like if you look at the roster of some of these small organizations, you're gonna see a couple Nurmagomedov. Yeah, you're gonna see a couple Mobilovs. You're gonna see a couple of these guys in the bottom here.
Yep.
MMA fans in general, pay attention. I'm telling you right now, I feel this, and I mean, sure, it's not like a fucking prediction or whatever, but this next year, I guarantee you're gonna start seeing more of these guys.
I used to always hate when Angel
moving up into the weight divisions, and starting to dominate, and that's like you said, it's a problem that needs to be dealt with. The only reason I, as an MMA fan, am kind of like I don't know, and I could be wrong, but it's just like. Before I remember when wrestling and jiu-jitsu started to come in, it did bring kind of a lull in the sport in as far as popularity and as far as entertainment, because it did become so technically focused and there almost had to be like a loss of that technicality.
Not a loss. Not a loss. No, not a loss. It's not a loss. I disagree.
Well, let me finish my point. What I'm saying is there was like a loss of this technicality of grappling that transitioned because it was starting to mix with so much striking. So they were starting
exactly,
to like
right there. It's not a loss.
And those guys and they're like
mixing not a loss. To me, it's not a loss of technicality. It's an advancement of the other arts to be able to effectively combat that.
You can call it whatever you want. It's still a combination of the arts getting together.
But that's mixed martial arts.
That's what I'm fucking saying. Just what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's all together, and it coming together is one. It might strengthen it, but it weakens it in other aspects. It's like what Bruce Lee said. It's like when you bring in all these other things. At the end of the day, the best thing still is like learning boxing. It's still learning wrestling. You know what I mean? Like
wrestling.
Obviously, what I'm saying is, look, you can disagree with what I'm saying, but the proof is in the pudding. Look at what these guys are doing from Dagestan.
I'm not.
They are so focused technically on wrestling and grappling. They're able to come in and murder all these kids who have been doing MMA and training in MMA gyms for the last 15 years.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Because there's been a loss of that focus on let's just do wrestling, and that's not almost there anymore unless you're like, a wrestler. And
I mean, you go to
AKA.
AKA. AKA is what? Wrestling, #1, and kickboxing. Even though the sign says American Kickboxing Academy.
It's not wrestling.
And what do they do most of? All? They wrestle. Daniel Cormier wrestles. Khabib Nurmagomedov wrestles. Every other Tom, Dick, or fucking Harry, what do? They fucking wrestle in that place.
Yeah, but that's not AKA's. That's
AKA tells themselves on Premier Wrestling.
Kickboxing Academy.
I know AKA more for incredible wrestlers than I do at this stage for incredible kickboxers.
I can name you more people who have striking backgrounds and prowess and champions in UFC and other sports who have been in AKA more than I can name you wrestlers that can be there. You want to talk about wrestlers?
At the end of the day, the biggest names of wrestlers. Cormier and Nurmagomedov are the biggest names that academy has fucking produced. And because why? They are fucking wrestlers. They went to AKA to better their striking. And not only did they do that, they brought an entire culture. They've brought a culture to them, dude. That means something.
No, the only people who brought wrestling culture to AKA is fucking Abdul, is Khabib's dad. That's who brought wrestling culture and the Dagestani wrestling culture. Cormier did not bring that there. Cormier had some of that
pure American wrestling.
Yeah, but
pure American
who other wrestlers?
Greatness. He was a fucking Olympian.
Who's other wrestlers besides Cormier though? Who's other American wrestlers there at AKA training with them? Luke Rockhold. There's not a lot. That's why. That's why you can't think of any. But the Daniel Cormier, Luke Rockhold, freaking, Vigilante Jones. I can't remember his fucking name right now.
Fucking Joe Blow. Okay.
Cain Velasquez, Vigilante Jones. That's a good fucking joke.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Wow. I see what you did there.
Sorry. Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. I did it. So Cain Velasquez, though, you know what I mean? Also great wrestler, but still, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not the great wrestlers and stuff like that to me, like what you're talking about. That's a Lion's Den. That's a Ken Shamrock. That's old school. But that's what Khabib's, that's what they are starting to do in the sport. Back then, those guys, until Igor Vovchanchyn, those guys were murdering everybody, Pride and UFC almost.
Yeah.
And then, Igor Vovchanchyn, I mean, not if you guys remember Igor Vovchanchyn, that guy was a motherfucker. And he was wrecking
out a fucking name
everybody back in the day.
Prehistory of MMA that nobody thinks.
Well, he was really like, he was really one of the, besides Fedor and Fedor's felon brother. They were, he was really the Russian. He was the
murder or rape his brother.
Both. So that was such a that was
awful. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, going all the way back, Jesus Christ, we got so far off track. Anikalaev,
this is a great conveation. This should be
a great conversation, though.
This is gonna be clip.
It really is good. Anikalaev versus Jan. We have now Jan Blachowicz is gonna go for the title, but like we were talking about now, this wrestling. I don't. Anikalaev, I think, is just gonna grab him.
I agree.
He's gonna grab him.
I agree.
He's gonna grab him, and he's just gonna be like, "Come here."
Do you think it's gonna be a hump fest, or you think he's gonna finish it?
I think he'll finish him. I honestly think Anikalaev has pretty good hands and pretty good ground and pound. It's harder at those heavier weights to not finish guys on the ground. Whether it come by submission or something like that. I feel like at the light heavyweight position, there's so much power that those guys have to deal with it. Really, you can only put yourself in a compromising position grappling wise.
Survivor though. Long. He's a survivor.
Jan is not got a good chin right now. You know what I mean? That's the other thing too, bro. If this was 2 years ago, I'd say Jan's gonna fucking send this guy into the fucking Nexus, but I don't know.
Dagestani wrestling is just that next level, dude, and people are. It takes the trials and tribulations for somebody to break through, and this is what we're going through. We're going through the trials and tribulations of the Dagestani dominance, and eventually it'll break through, and then eventually things will even itself out, and you'll have a level playing field until the next fucking the next evolution of the sport, whether that be extremely technical kickboxing, whether that be extremely technical boxing, etc. You know what I'm saying? So it'll level itself out. It's always the tides. This is commonplace in MMA where you have tides of dominance on a particular form of art. What's the word? I'm looking for a specific word and I can't think of it off the top of my head. But in any case, that's what it is. So
don't worry. If things get too bad, the UFC will fix the fights anyway. So
they can call James Krause.
Yeah, they'll change it up. Reinstate James Krause. Make James Krause president of the UFC. What do you want to do? So
official matchmaker. Fuck Sean Shelby, right?
That is something we're not going to talk about because we could go and we make a whole podcast about it, but we will talk about it one day because that's not the only story that's going to come out of it.
It's getting deep in the weeds, motherfucker.
Going to be a huge thing. Bro, if you guys haven't paid attention, just pay it. Just
real quick.
Look at the little undertone that is the storm that is James Krause and the underculture of betting in the UFC.
Real quick, you think they're gonna Pete Rose him? I think they're gonna Pete Rose him.
If they catch him doing everything that I think he's doing, yes, for sure, and he'll be a they're gonna create a new thing. They're gonna make their own USADA for gambling.
They probably would, dude. They probably would. Have motherfuckers coming. They'll come at your house like every fight night. Let me see your phone.
I mean, it's happening in every major sport. Come on. It's happening in every major sport. What was that guy in the NBA years ago when I was in high school? I think it was a referee.
Tim Donaghy.
That
wasn't high school. That was like huge. That was high school for me. That was, I think. Well, yeah, you're only a couple years. So that might have been like the end of high school, beginning of college, or beginning.
I don't know. I have brain. My brain is fucked, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do remember that
like
shit happened in the past at some
like
point.
That. I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one guy. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine what they haven't caught. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, but I mean, just scratching the surface, bro. It's like, you know. Yeah. Anyway,
iceberg. But yeah. Anyway, you know, Jan versus Ankalaev. I don't know, dude. Like I said, I just think Ankalaev is just gonna scratch him. He's just gonna grab him, take him down, probably either submit him or ground and pound him out. It would be amazing to see Jan get the belt back, though. So
it would be amazing to see Jan. I'm gonna be rooting for Jan, but I've got Ankalaev unanimous decision.
I also am rooting for Jan because, you know, hopefully his country doesn't get invaded next. So anyway, and you know, the other thing is that, you know, the UFC will not. I don't think UFC wants the Glover to be a champion.
They don't. No, and he
wants the UFC to be the Glover the champion.
He spurned that opportunity by rejecting them, but at the same time,
it's not just that he's old. You know,
from Glover was literally going to retire if he didn't win the belt.
Yeah, UFC is not. I mean,
he's got one foot out the door. He's got one foot out the door already. And you know something? I don't think he retires. I think he fights it out, or UFC says fuck you, and he goes to some place like One or Bellator.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna
dominate.
No, he's gonna go box. He'll go box.
Let's hope him and Jake Paul.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be no. Actually, no. He would. Honestly, at this point, I'm pretty sure Jake Paul would murder him. Like straight up, I would be like, that would be so bummer, dude. To watch
another rapid fire question. Another rapid fire question. Him or Patty? Him or Patty the Baddie?
Who? Jake
Paul
or Patty?
The Baddie. Yeah.
Jake. What the fuck are we talking about?
You
Patty?
saw the
You saw
Patty
that,
the Baddie. Right? Yeah.
He's a fucking great MMA fighter, dude. He's not a boxer. He's not. Yeah, he's not. I mean, you know that. You know the answer to that question. But yeah, so it's, you know, we'll have to see what's going on. I think if Ankalaev grabs that belt, man, I don't know. The 205 is so crazy. If I'm John Jones, I just
go down the list
and start
Let's go down the list.
Fools.
I like going down the list.
Too big.
Let's go down the list. So if Ankalaev wins the belt,
let's not do that. We don't have that time. We'll just figure. Yeah. Well, after the fight comes, we'll go down the list.
Yeah. Right.
But let's move on. All right. Let's move on to PFL. PFL had its first pay-per-view event this weekend for whatever the fuck that's worth. So if you were willing to waste $50, you could watch PFL.
I would not have wasted $50, but I heard like it's gotten critical acclaim from many pundits that it was a solid fucking show.
All paid media members, I'm sure. All solid checks on the way to their bank accounts right now.
God.
Thank you. And I definitely look, whatever. PFL is going to do whatever they want to do. They want to just keep pissing money into the ocean. They can. And obviously they are willing to. But yeah, I would love to see the numbers on that, like to see what the actual numbers on the pay-per-view was. I don't know if we're going to see that. Was that through
I'm going to guess under 50K. I
mean, that would be generous. Who is the carrier? I mean, who is
ESPN Plus? ESPN Plus.
So you purchased it on ESPN Plus?
I did not personally, but that's where
that's where you would go to do it.
Yes.
Someone brought up in the chat that you know, that a couple of UFC fighters, I guess, asked Ariel like if the PFL was like a real thing or if it was like a real tournament or whatever, because they heard about the $1 million thing or whatever. And it's like It's like, yeah, that's so
you gotta
fucking
ask him about it.
dude.
Just tell him World Series of Fighting. Oh,
yeah, just be like, yeah, the formerly known as the One Series of Fighting, dude. Yeah, like,
yeah, basically, bro. Like, who's come over from World Series of Fighting? That's like the only person I can think of off the top of my head.
PFL is the prince of MMA, dude. They're
Bro,
just
the only
like
thing I can
changing
think of
their
is
names.
the only person I can think of that came from World Series of Fighting that did anything of note was David Branch.
Was what?
David Branch. That's the only guy I could think of that's come from World Series of Fighting that's made any sort of anything, like any noteworthy anything in UFC. Who's come from WSOF, not PFL, WSOF.
Yeah, WSOF. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of. Didn't John Finch come from there?
He went there and he dominated there and retired there.
Yeah, I feel like if John Finch came back, he would still dominate at PFL. So,
probably.
But regardless, look, PFL. They, like I said, they got one this weekend, and so that was interesting. To see that they had the pay-per-view. I'd love to see the numbers. But the biggest thing from this weekend is, they threw their biggest stars up on this weekend. Kayla Harrison being the biggest star they have, and she lost.
Yeah. And
that was incredible. Just because, I mean, it was obvious that they threw so many.
Everybody and their mother kept talking about, when is she going to face Amanda? When is she going to face Cyborg?
Yeah.
Who knows when that'll be now?
Who knows when that'll be now?
She probably will never face Amanda Nunes. She probably will never face her. I'm pretty confident saying that. She will not face Amanda Nunes ever. Cyborg, different story. And Cyborg, did you see what Cyborg wrote about her loss? Like, she's like, oh, she'll be better. She'll come back. Da, 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 da. She was very, gracious.
No, she roasted her at the beginning. She said something like she digged her at the beginning of it. She said something like, ooh, like sucks to be PFL right now or whatever. You know what I mean? She said something like that right after the fight. So it wasn't, it was great. I think, I don't know if you know this, but Larissa Pacheco fought her twice before.
Yeah, this is number 3, and she got dominated one, and she came close in the second one, I believe.
Well, no, I don't know how close she was in the second.
Well, not like close, but like
it was unanimous decisions for Harrison on both fights.
Yeah, but it was
so think about that. PFL was loading this shit up for her, dude. They were trying to give her someone she already beat twice. Statistically, not the smartest thing to do,
they
honestly.
did a tournament, and she did like a mini tournament, and that was the finals. So she beat the other people to get to Harrison again.
That's right, because you're right. The other 2 times she did get to her, and then she got dispatched. So
yeah. So did the tournament. She got there again.
They didn't do the matchmaking. That is the tournament base. But it's still, it's just like, it's crazy to think that makes it even more incredible. Honestly, that kind of makes it kind of crazy. But
she finally got over the hump, dude. I mean, good for Pacheco.
Good for Pacheco. Never doubt a Brazilian. Like, straight up. Like, just don't ever doubt Brazilians, dude. They're just, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't. They're just fucking amazing fighters.
Find a way, bro. I mean, that's what
look at Pereira. I mean, like fucking so wild, bro. Like, but yeah,
I still believe everybody and their mother that he would probably get dominated by most other fighters in the fucking top 5.
Dude, 100%. I mean,
I don't think he's gonna be champion for long.
We went over this. Yeah,
I don't think.
Well, he will be. We'll see. I mean, if he does back to back with Izzy, which is
they'll do an interim title.
I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, why would you? He's talking about fighting Hamzat. That's fucking insane.
He will rape him. He will rape him.
He will. And that's like the whole thing with Brendan Schaub. It's like, oh yeah, like, oh, I'll bet Brendan Schaub like $50K. It's like, dude,
I thought we weren't going to talk about Brendan Schaub.
Why are you chasing this clout? Who said that?
I think you said that too.
I never said that.
I thought you did. Maybe
talk about Brendan Schaub on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I heard you wrong.
I don't care about that. I mean, it's good for the podcast. He gets talked about a bunch, but I mean,
we should get him for an interview. We should talk about interviews.
Oh, he would. I don't think he would do any interviews.
You just can't ask him about certain shit. I mean,
you can't ask him about anything, bro. That guy's a fucking egghead. He is, dude. He's a dick. He's an egghead. He's just some guy. He like walked into like a fucking situation. Joe Rogan fucking hooked him up.
Yeah,
he's got his own, and he's just like. I think he just realizes at this point, if I just show up, that's all I have to do. I just have to show up.
But he's part of that social media craze now in today's world. He's blown up because of a friend, and
he's part of MMA media too now.
Now he's part of MMA. Yeah.
It's fucking.
I mean, he's made his own mark.
Chasing him, but I just don't agree. It's just the wrong clout to chase. The guy's an idiot. You know what I mean? Like he's not a. You go, it's the same thing. Why rap battles. It's business. It's to sell albums, guys.
Yeah.
You know, when two rappers go at each other, it's not because they're actually fucking hating each other. It's literally to sell fucking albums. Tupac and Biggie did not fucking want to actually murder each other in the streets. Like, people don't get that. They think like Biggie and Pac had no, man, that was gang violence. That was people getting fired up. Rhetoric, yeah, you know, but it's just like, it's no different from like people getting fired up about the Bible, you know what I mean? And like, not everyone who reads the Bible is going to get fired up about it, you know.
Well, I mean, they're not going to go and invade other people's countries and kill them,
right? But certain people will. So obviously, you know what I mean. Certain people obviously will. So it's about selling shit. You know what I mean? It's not about making this stuff. So I think that would be my only thing. Or I wouldn't go into somebody like that with Brendan Schaub, because that guy's not about business and trying to build some up. He's just like, he's one of these one-upper guys, and he's, you know, like, what's it gonna, how in the world is Pereira taking a bet with him for $100K, which, man, that seems like a lot of money for him. No,
to be fair, it's going to charity, so it's not all bad.
Hey, no, it ain't. hey, to be fair, no, it isn't.
Dude, he's a poor Brazilian. He grew up poor. He grew up a poor Brazilian.
Right. So why is he throwing around $100K? If I'm his mom, I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Hey, he wants to better the community.
It's just for fucking, they're just talking smack. I don't think they're going to bet $100K.
They do it.
He's not fighting Kamzat anyway. So what are we talking about? He's just trying to get us to talk about this shit right now. That's all that's happening. We got marked. I fucking got marked. God damn it. He did get me. But anyway,
that wasn't on our list of topics, sir.
That wasn't on our list of topics. So, but anyway, yeah, I don't know.
One thing that
Kayla Harrison has only got two fights left in her contract. I know that much.
Yeah,
and she's going somewhere else. I mean, it's
going to be Bellator to face Cyborg.
Bellator, or I mean,
I don't think she goes to UFC. I don't think. And granted, she's a really, really, really good fighter.
I would, if I was UFC, I'd grab her right now.
That fight was
allow her to take one more loss.
135 or 45.
If she gets another loss, I want it to be in the UFC. If I'm the UFC, you know what I mean? Like,
of course. Was that 35 or 45?
Harrison?
Yeah. She's 45, right?
Middleweight, dude. You're fucking 80.
Yeah.
85 over there. I don't know. I think it's 45. I think it was 45.
Her only option is to go to Bellator. She would only go to UFC basically to fight Amanda Nunes.
Like, well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm her, I'm going to the UFC to fight Amanda Nunes. That's the biggest fight you got to this date. Who knows? Who knows what might happen?
They shouldn't have this goddamn belt in this fucking. What a waste of fucking code.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a waste of code on your website to have this fucking women's featherweight Amanda Nunes blank fucking slate. Awful. Fucking awful.
Dude, I know. UFC was like that for a long time too. The UFC website, believe it or not, UFC website's come a long way. But
it has. But
getting back to it, I don't know. The one thing I'll say this about Kayla Harrison is I think she already handled the loss like 10 times better.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Dude.
Hell
you know
yeah!
I mean, like Rousey,
she pitched the hissy fit and then fucking quit.
And went to Ronda. You know what I mean? She was just like gone, dude.
Yeah, bro. Ronda.
At least Harrison's just like, man, I lost in front of the whole world. This shit's gonna hurt for a minute.
Yeah, this shit sucks. But hey, it's not the end of the world. And that's it's the best thing with a loss, that you can say. It's not the end of the world. You're not gonna die. Your family's not gonna die. You still got paid very handsomely for what it's worth. It's not $1 million, but hey,
not $1 million, but I'm sure she's making good money on the sponsors and shit.
She's not struggling whatsoever. She's not gonna go. She's not gonna go to the 9 to 5. Not at all.
That's just a hard time. Hey, she's an AKA girl.
There you go. Wrestling. There you go.
Judo.
Oh, fair.
I knew. I was waiting. I was like, oh, you're gonna try to say.
I
don't know. Best thing I'd say, she fights out her contract or gets out of it, goes Bellator, fights Cyborg, or goes to UFC and fights Amanda.
It's gonna probably, I can see happening. She goes to UFC. If she loses to Amanda, they're like, all right, thanks. Thanks for the business, thanks for the house, and then she goes to Bellator, and she's already like super diminished by that point. You would think.
Oh, dude. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I just thought of. You know what's actually going to happen? This is what, you know what? Fuck everything we just said. This is exactly what's about to happen.
You type
PFL is going to go, oh, you're going to take off? Cool. Here's Aspen Ladd. We'll give you Aspen Ladd. Okay? That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's if Aspen Ladd could show up and make weight, that's a problem. You know what I mean?
I mean, she fucking.
I mean, dude, they're fighting at 85, so how could she not? But you know what I mean? Like, have Aspen Ladd fight her, you know what I mean? And then fucking give her Pacheco again. I mean, that could be, yeah.
But I mean, they're gonna give her Pacheco for the belt on her last fucking fight.
I have to watch the fight. I don't know how close it was, but I heard that.
I heard 48-47.
Well, I heard that it wasn't that close. I heard that Pacheco did what she wanted with her, basically.
Yeah, she came to fucking ball, and she did. She won 48-47 on, I believe, 2 of the 3 cards, and I think it was like 40. I think she might have gotten a 49-46 on a card.
I think when you beat somebody like that, I think it's hard.
But you have 2 prior wins where you dominated, so that's not that hard. You know?
It almost erases the prior wins.
I mean,
it does.
Because I was gonna say, it's a grander effect because it was on their biggest stage that they've ever had, but I don't. It doesn't. I get what you're saying. It does diminish it to a certain extent, but I don't. It's not, like I said. It's not. Yeah. Oh my god, the world's gonna blow up. No.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah. Let's move on. You know, this it was like I said. There's so much that happened in MMA this week. And going back to, you know, what you were bringing up earlier about the weight cuts, how this is affecting. I mean, we're already talking about it with Pereira. You know, Pereira ballooning up to like 240 fucking pounds. I mean,
yeah, he walks around at 240
in heavyweight. I mean, it's insane to me.
He's bigger than Glover. Glover's his teammate, and he's bigger than Glover.
Bigger than Glover.
Fights at 205.
So, you know, obviously he's cutting fucking like 60 goddamn pounds.
Yeah.
Like to get down to 85.
They showed him, I think, with like 6 weeks to go in camp, and he was 225.
But I mean, this is just, but this is like, you know, you look at light heavyweight.
He will never fight in California
for a long time.
He will never fight in
California. Of 205, the 206 limit to heavyweight. I mean, that's why John Jones, even though John Jones is huge now, even when he's fighting light heavyweight, the guy was walking around 240 fucking pounds. So it's not like, and it's the same thing with like
to cut 35 pounds than it is to cut 60
fucking all these guys. None of these guys are walking around at 210. None of these guys, you know what I'm saying? All these guys are north of 230.
Except Izzy. Izzy fought at 205 and he was 198.
Right. Izzy's one of those guys. He's like a real like in-betweener of 185 and 205. You know what I mean? Like he's a real.
But you know, you don't want to be like boxing where you continuously add divisions, despite the fact that for health reasons, it makes all the sense in the world. But you know, then you just, you know, every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a belt. You don't want that. That's what happened with fucking Amanda Nunes. She's got a fucking useless belt. So you don't want that. You know what I mean? So, but no, to go off of your point, this actually happened a couple weeks ago, but you know, one of the biggest known persons who would cut extreme amounts of weight was Rumble Johnson, and Rumble Johnson passed away a couple weeks ago now. And so it highlights in particular, especially Pereira's weight cutting, because of the fact that if you're continuously doing that, and he has continuously done that for a while, it will catch up to you. And that's what I had mentioned previously when we discussed, we had talked about the fact that, you know, over the course of time, you can only continuously peak your body, you know, to its most, like its uppermost limit for so many times. Multiply that by the fact that you're doing it at such a dangerous weight. And Lord knows all those times that he made 170, it wasn't it wasn't an easy cut ever. It was never an easy cut. But you know, some of those extremes were worse than others, and that cumulative effect. And he ended up dying of fucking organ failure. And so, you know, it's another mark on the idea of extreme weight cuts and the weight cutting in general over the course of a lifetime, you would think, because of the fact Rumble Johnson, I believe, was a wrestler as well. Rumble Johnson was cutting weight since fucking high school or middle school, whenever the fuck you started wrestling, dude. You know, continuous dehydration compounded with absorption of damage. And then not all bodies are made equal. And so, you know, he bit the dust and it sucks, dude. And there should be more of a highlight. This should be like not on the same level as concussion studies and things of that nature, but there's gonna come a time, you know, even though it's never happened in the UFC, but in multitudes of other lower organizations, people have died from weight cutting. When are they gonna start creating an institution for weight cutting, dude? I think that the time is pretty fucking near when you have a star the magnitude of fucking Rumble Johnson passing away because of organ failure. And it's probably, even though they haven't said that, but everybody who follows MMA will know that it has
I
to
mean,
do
we're all
with
making the
being
connections.
cut,
I mean, he was
yeah.
You're talking about a guy who used to Rumble Johnson used to cut down to 170, dude, welterweight.
And he
So
would walk
you're talking
around at
about
like
a guy who's-
220. He'd walk around at 220 or 230.
220. Yeah, 220 would
230.
be like, yeah. I mean, I heard him.
That's
I heard
50
him
pounds,
talking
60
about
pounds. Same thing as Pereira.
Joe Rogan was talking about him the other day, and he was talking about it was at I don't remember. It was an early UFC. He said it was back in the day, and he asked Rumble. He said, "How much do you weigh right now?" And he said 240 pounds. And Rogan was just like, "Bro, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
you know what
dude.
I mean? And this was when he was cutting down to 170.
And you know,
what I mean?
it's
So
one thing, and at that time to fucking be like, wow, and be like fucking awed and laugh at it, but you know, times.
well, I
have
think
changed,
he laughed at it because it was just so
absurd.
It was so ridiculous. You know what I mean? It was so absurd, right? It was so absurd that he just couldn't even believe. He was like, what are you weighing around? You know, what are you walking around? He probably was thinking 210. You know what I mean? He goes 240 fucking pounds. And the guy just fought at 170. He just fought too.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
that's not healthy.
I believe, I'm sure the UFC right now is doing some sort of special thing, but it is not going to be released to the public.
No,
they're doing something right now to protect their ass. Because I guarantee you that there is either his family or someone, or there's some lawyer somewhere.
The keyword you just said is protect their ass, not for the betterment of the fighters themselves.
Yeah, no,
they're for the betterment of the organization not getting any lawsuits from somebody.
Again, like I said, Dana White literally was just like, saw that and was like, fuck. And I guarantee you, because that him dying at such a young age, 30, you just can't ignore that. You know, it's like this reminds me almost. I mean, I know this is totally different circumstances, but is it Ndamukong? No, not Ndamukong Suh. Wow, totally wrong guy I'm thinking of.
He's still alive.
San Diego Chargers guy. He's a football player. Huh?
Junior Seau.
Junior Seau was one of the early, not early, but was one of the big red flags early on about CTE.
He was the biggest person to fucking kill himself because of CTE.
And he was also still really young. A lot of those NFL guys had done that, but by the time that they had
not
done
a
it, they
star,
were so
not a level.
and, out of touch. No one knew who the fuck they were. A lot of people still,
and those people died of natural causes or whatever the fuck happened.
Junior Seau was a beloved guy. You know what I mean? He was
loved and he took his life. And why is someone that's loved and has a family? Why would you take your life? You know, and you can obviously speculate on depression and things of that nature and personal people's lives. You can go down that rabbit hole if you want, but how do you get like that? Yeah. Like, how do you get like that?
You could even go back related to Cain Velasquez. Like, dude, look at what I mean.
Oh, probably
right or wrong. Right or wrong, whatever everyone thinks about it. I mean, I got my opinion. I'm a dad. You know what I mean? Fuck that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Straight up. Like, I wish you wouldn't have missed, but it is what it is. And honestly, it is a little bit of a wild thing to just, I mean, like I said, dude, I'm a dad. If I found that kind of news out, I don't know what I would do.
You would do the same thing.
I don't know if I do the same thing, but I've got maybe a couple screws loose with myself. I would say most people in general, I don't think would react that way. I don't think most people have it within them to be that way or be that violent even. But obviously, you know what I mean? Like,
I think more people do.
And you know, guys who have brain damage might have a little bit be a little bit more.
Whenever you talk about CTE and you talk about things of that nature, you talk about the switch being flipped. A lot of those people have personality disorders, anger management issues, bipolar disorders, things of that nature that have been clinically diagnosed, not related to fighting per se, but just as a cause and effect of whatever happens naturally or chemically within the brain. And so you can boil that down to it. But when you look at the profession, you look at the career and the history of somebody like that, it only really points to one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his switch flipped that day, and that was that. And I'm positive, obviously, a lot of it had to do with the fact that he's a father and it happened to a family member. But, you know, like you said, a lot of people are way more rational than that. And that was not a rational decision that he made. And when it comes to things of that nature, it's synonymous. Unrational thinking is synonymous with that type of damage.
That being said, I'm happy that he's out and not having to deal with.
Yeah, he's going to be wrestling on a pay-per-view, a AAA pay-per-view, Mexican wrestling pay-per-view in Arizona.
Yep.
So that'll be good for him. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna get all the love. He will get all the love.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He'll get all the love. But look, going back to Anthony Rebel Johnson, rest in peace.
Rest
you know
in
what
peace.
I mean? He was
one of the best fighters of our generation. He was definitely one of the better fighters of our generation. Hall of Fame?
100%.
Same.
100%. Yeah.
Same.
His fights with DC. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't point to those fights with DC. I'd point up to the fights leading up to DC. DC fights, I mean, he got wrecked.
He got wrecked. He still participated in them, and he was a part of them. I mean, it was a huge part of his career. I mean, it was two UFC title shots that he never had. That he ever had got before. So that you could say that was almost the pinnacle. Look, there's a lot of what did Joe Rogan used to say? Call him there's a lot of guys in the closet. You know what I mean? There's a lot of scary dudes out there in the in some of the divisions.
He was a lot of
boogeyman.
He was definitely a boogeyman. Yeah.
But who was another boogeyman? Gustafsson. No one fucked with him besides Jones. Nobody. Yep. And then Cormier did too. And fucking Anthony Johnson killed him, bro. Wrecked him.
Yep.
And Glover.
Yep.
So yeah, like you're saying, that lead up to the run was amazing. But yeah, to think that he did that to Gustafsson is crazy. That's the only other guy that really got it over on Gustafsson like that.
Yeah. It was John.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah. He's one of our generation's all timers for sure.
Hey,
when you think I said yes.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I just saw it. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna go down in the Hall of Fame for sure. I don't know, like I said, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. I don't know what legal things are going on in the background right now.
You should make a weight cutting award and name it the Rumble Johnson Award. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, don't do that. But the UFC might, hopefully they put him in the Hall of Fame this next year. I mean,
they should.
What's the wait for?
They should. I agree.
And yeah, I mean,
posthumously.
I don't know. Maybe some of this will lead to
you gotta hope. You have to
lead to some kind of similar type of CT investigations that happen in the NFL or something like that. At least, for weight cutting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah.
Moving on.
A couple more things.
Big news today. Nate Diaz is officially released from the UFC.
He's free.
He's officially free. I know that news kind of came out that he wasn't going to be re-signing, but he's officially officially.
Yeah, the 3 month grace period is done. So.
Yeah. So
he's gonna start his own organization like everybody fucking else is nowadays.
Well, you know what? I honestly, I hope he starts his own. I hope he goes and gets a couple big money fights, enough to sail off into the sunset, and just. I
don't see that. I see him coming back to the UFC, dude. I see him coming back to the UFC at some point, finishing his career in the UFC. I just hope he doesn't go like BMPen.
You see him coming back to the UFC
at some point
to do what?
Just a couple legacy fights. Just hey, let me get a quick fucking 250, 500
with Connor. What? Hold on.
Just saying.
Hold on. You're saying he's gonna come out of probably making a couple mil on boxing?
No, like you said, if he has a couple big money fights
and making money from having his own promotion to come to the UFC and have a fight camp and do all that bullshit for 250.
He probably wouldn't do a fight camp. He probably wouldn't do a fight camp. He'd just show up. And he's like, I just finished running a triathlon. I'm just gonna show up. So I can weigh in at approximately.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I'm good. I'm cool.
Me too. I agree with you. I'm just saying I don't see him never competing for the UFC again. I don't see that.
I don't think he ever. I think honestly, if he doesn't talk a bunch of major shit about Dana and everybody in that organization in the next year, I would be surprised. then again, I could see him not, just by being like, things ended well. I don't want to stir up shit. You know what I mean? But
he's fine. And Dana even said that. He's like, oh, he's more than welcome to come back whenever he wants.
Fucking, I bet you Dana's gonna say that. Of course, Dana's gonna say that. Dana, he helped. Yeah, Dana should say money. That.
Even though he's got one knockout in 13 years, he's fucking he's still money, unfortunately. So, you know, where there's money.
Well, he fucking gave McGregor his first. I don't understand why you're such a hater of him. Anything, you should almost be like his. You should almost be his fan. I mean, he really gave McGregor that first. He actually he showed McGregor like what MMA was. He defended all of us, you know, hardcore MMA fans from all these fucking Connor nights that came on in the days. I mean, come on, man. He's done some shit for us, for sure, man.
I rooted for him against Connor. I certainly did. I rooted for Nate Diaz against Connor, but I'm just not a Nate Diaz.
Did you root for him against Masvidal?
That's the answer. Like cat's meow. No, I actually rooted for Masvidal. I rooted for Masvidal.
Well, either way, I hope he gets out, gets a couple money fights, starts his own promotion.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him do like his own version of hot boxing, you know, where he's like, it's like hot boxing for real, but it's like him.
Dude, I feel like he would get so fucking high.
He's like teaching fans how to spar, but they're like smoking blunts the entire time. Like,
they're gonna Sean O'Malley. He's gonna be
like, they don't stop Sean O'Malley fight camp, bro. Like, the fans like trying to throw punches, and like Nate's just like, smoke a little bit of this, man. You know, and he just like keeps fucking.
Did you see Nick and Nate smoking out of
the first fan who makes it through a whole episode gets to be the co-host.
Bro, did you see him and Nick's smoking out of a UFC glove?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Something. Yeah, I'd like to see him do something.
I do, like, you know, as much as I don't like Nate Diaz,
I think on a podcast.
He would be a great personality, media personality.
He is. He already is. I
feel like, bro, but I feel like if they did like a hot boxing type of thing, like he would get so fucking high, it would be like inaudible. I mean, it would be like kind of just random as fuck at that stage.
Yeah.
And it'll be entertaining for a while, but eventually it's gonna be like, dude, this is fucking dumb. But hey, you know, people love watching dumb shit, so there's a market for it.
Well, people just love watching shit in general. You know what I mean? Especially when there's so much bull crap going on in the real world. You're just like, well, you know what? Should I watch this chicken fight a squirrel? Hell yeah, I should. You know, like
it's a great use of time.
Yeah, that can apply to like a multitude of situations.
I gotta do my taxes. Nope, we're watching squirrel fucking. Yep.
Of course, you have to turn it into fucking Pornhub.
Yeah.
So
that's what we need our intro to be. Ethan and Andy.
That was kind of the Pornhub entrance.
It was.
There you go. That was that was. Hey, you're gonna get us freaking striked. Come on,
dude. I would love to imagine if Pornhub was our sponsor.
Honestly, okay, like this is crazy, but I honestly like. I had a thought for a long time. I mean, I still don't think it's the worst idea. I think Pornhub is the perfect place, or like any of those porn, you know, sites or whatever. This is the perfect place to have like other than porn content.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it honestly with advertisers. They'll make advertisements for people who are watching it, but they're trying to get you, and it's not anything to do with porn. So it's just like I think that
no, not really. Every time you say it's like, oh, single moms are in your neighborhood.
No, this was
want to meet up.
Hey, what are you doing? Quit messing around.
This masturbation game will make you blow your load in an instant.
Stuff like that, you know. But it'll be like,
where the fuck do you see Domino's? Order now. You don't see that shit at Pornhub.
Dude, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There was something different. It's like a guy was talking about how like he's like, stop doing what you're doing. And follow me or click my link if you want to learn how to make money. And it was like, it wasn't even something like related to
that was some amateur fake shit where they put the Pornhub logo on it.
I was like, oh, you trying to? Oh, you didn't know it wasn't, dude. It was like a real stockbroker in New York. It was like a real. And I was like, I'm dead serious. And I was like, dude, hold on. You guys are fucking throwing. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This is actually making sense. You throw ads on this where people have to watch the ads anyway. It's like all the ads are just.
Well, you skip after 5 seconds. Who watches the whole fucking ad? You skip after 5 seconds.
That's all it was. It was a 5-second ad. Crazy.
I got to see that to believe that. I don't believe you.
You don't believe that I watched it?
I believe you watched a video on Pornhub. I don't believe that was a commercial that you saw while you were about to fucking spank the monkey.
It was a fucking ad for the video before the video came up. What are you talking about?
You probably had, because you have fucking that thing where you sometimes look at two things. You were probably looking at a UFC video, and that was the ad that came up. And next to it was fucking
I didn't probably do anything.
Bros,
I was watching a video, and that came up as the advertisement. That's what fucking came up.
God, I don't.
It was something. Why is it so hard to believe?
I watch a lot of Pornhub. I just never seen it before, dude.
How much Pornhub do you watch?
I think I looked at my account. It said you've watched 780 videos.
Fucking account, bro. That's disgusting.
Hey, that's the only way you could save videos.
Disgusting, sir.
No, because you know what it was, bro. I would keep the tabs open.
Tabs open.
Back, bro. Go back to the videos, and then I lost all the tabs, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna make an account so I can star them. I can star them. So I star the videos.
Yeah, dude.
So it's like I love watching a fucking Mexican girl gets banged in the what's it called, in the dressing room.
There you go. This took a great turn. We lost all of the live viewers. So, no, but my point was just I think it would be a good place to a good place to run.
By all means, Andy, explore that avenue and let me know what happens. Please.
What you saying you want to jump over to Pornhub? You want to start?
If that's real, fuck it. Why not? Brought to you by Pornhub.com. Dude, it's the Ethan Anthony show.
That would be hilarious.
I wonder brought to you by Pornhub.
I wonder how that is.
Look at our logo in the right corner.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I mean. Like, we don't have to do no pornography. We could just have a regular channel, but this should be on there. You know what I mean?
OnlyFans and do that too.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, exactly.
I put a video on Pornhub once.
I'm just saying. I think if you were to make I don't know, maybe it wouldn't work. Never mind. Let's fucking get off this subject, dog. Let's get off. I'm trying to get out of here. So I'm trying to get out of this house, this room that we walked into. But
you want to wrap up the fight predictions for the cards?
Diaz, Nate Diaz is gonna go off and do some shit. He might fight Jake Paul. I don't know. You know what I mean? But
I'm confident.
I think he'll fight Jake Paul. Yeah, that would be a good fight. Who knows what'll happen? I think Jake Paul probably.
I think Jake Paul wins.
I think Jake Paul wins too.
I think Jake Paul wins.
Fucking nuts.
Did you hear unrelated? Well, kind of related to Jake Paul. Terrence Crawford. You know Terrence Crawford?
MMA fighter?
No, Terrence Crawford. No, not I know you're talking. Not Terrence McKinney. Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is arguably the pound for pound great, and they've been trying to make a fight with him and Errol Spence. That's not where I was getting at. The point is, Terrence Crawford, arguably pound for pound best in boxing. They asked him about Jake Paul. What do you think about Jake Paul? And he said, Jake Paul is a legitimate fighter. I wish he'd fight a real boxer, but he's definitely earned the moniker of professional boxer. He is a legitimate professional boxer. And I thought that was like, wow, well, you have a pound for pound top man in the sport saying you're a legitimate boxer. That's some pretty high praise.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like he's turned a lot of guys around. I've heard a lot of people shift opinion on him. A lot of MMA heads. I mean, I've even really had to shift opinion. I mean, I don't know.
I have too, dude.
How could you not?
I hated him.
How could you not? Even if you didn't hate him, you just simply anyone who knew anything about boxing or combat sports would just be like, no, it just doesn't seem practical. But then when you look at what he's and who he's fighting, at the end of the day, I still feel like most boxers would fuck him up.
Oh, for sure. He fights at cruiserweight, and to be honest, I don't recall his name. It's a Russian guy, believe it or not. I think he's definitely European. He might be Russian. I know that for a fact. The current cruiserweight champion. But if he were to fight someone like that, Jake Paul would be dead. His head would be in the fucking 10th row, for sure, for fucking sure. He'll never fight a real boxer. And on top of that, but everybody knows with boxing, the best boxers have extensive amateur backgrounds. So you're gonna fight a guy that's fought in the Olympics or fought in the amateurs for 100+ fights, and then he's gonna if he fights a real boxer, it's gonna be a journeyman that's fucking 8-8. That's the real boxer he'll face, and he might win.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know, but hey, we got a fight card this weekend.
We do that. I'm going to live.
That you're gonna be there for.
I will be.
Let's break that down real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Steven, so that the headline of the card, it's Thompson versus Holland.
Yep.
Which is very interesting, to be honest. I love the fight. I think it's a great fucking fight.
I do too.
Does Holland become a wrestler? I mean, is he gonna? Is this where we start seeing him? Like, is he
I don't
gonna
think
be
there's
like
gonna be much
talking to DC during the fight, like being like,
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know if he should sit there and strike with Thompson. I mean,
I hope he does for my sake, because I'll be there fucking live and I would love to see it. But in all seriousness, he's got a really good. His best game is to fucking put him on the ground. And Thompson isn't a fucking what's it called? Inept. He's not inept on the ground, but he's. I would give Holland the nod for sure on the ground game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Holland's got more fights than him. Holland's 23-8. Fucking Thompson 16-6. 16.
But don't forget, Thompson has spent a lot of his time in the UFC. Holland hasn't spent as much time, but he's collected a lot of fights in the UFC.
Well, clearly, so. I mean, I want to say what the last maybe 6 or 7 fights are in the UFC. Everything before that.
I mean, those fights, at least I think 10 at minimum. 10 of Holland's fights are in the UFC. So Thompson, majority, like I said, the majority of Stephen Thompson's career, he's been in the UFC. So, there's a little bit of a disparity in that idea that you brought up.
I think Holland's got to win for sure.
He needs to, yeah, because I mean, Stephen Thompson is one of the biggest.
So is Thompson. Thompson
for sure needs to win. But but at the end of the day, if Thompson wins,
fight.
What?
Is this a pink slip fight?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Stephen Thompson. No, I don't think so. I can see Stephen Thompson fighting out his contract and not being re-signed, but I don't see them releasing Stephen Thompson. I definitely do not see that. This is welterweight. They're not even ranked. It's so wild, but they're not even fucking ranked.
That's why I'm saying. I'm like, dude.
No, Stephen Thompson is ranked. I'm sorry. What am I fucking?
Of this fight go to a different place? I don't know.
You fucking idiot. Stephen Thompson is ranked 6th. He's tied with Jeff Neal.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's the 6th ranked fighter. He's tied with Jeff Neal. I do not see Kevin
welterweight outside the top 5 is really just little.
But I mean, it's wild. If I was Thompson, if I was Holland, I would definitely stay at fucking 170, because when you really look at the breakdowns of the top 15,
where else would he go?
He fights at 155. His natural weight is 170, but he would cut weight. Holland.
Oh, I thought you were saying Thompson.
No. If I'm Holland, and
Holland's at welterweight now for permanent. He's not going back.
Yeah,
down.
I mean,
you're fucked up. You're thinking about middleweight. Holland has been fighting at welterweight and middleweight. He's not a 55er.
He's 55.
No, you're mad.
I mean, he's fucking.
Am I mad or you mad? One of us is mad because I
wouldn't shock me if I am. I'm tired, but
pretty sure. Yeah, I think you're tired.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just looking at the rankings right now. Is he on 185? He is not on the rankings of 185.
No, he hasn't fought at 185 in a minute, but I know
he was in a minute.
Because him and Cumshot were talking about fighting and shit. Well,
but those are shotgun fights. Those aren't
like 185, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was at 185, but that was a shotgun fight. That wasn't a camped fight.
No, that was a catchweight fight. Remember? Because Cumshot could make his weight, and they did the switcheroo because he was gonna pancake Nick Diaz, and then they were like, "Oh yeah," and the UFC was like, "You know what? Way better card now."
Yeah, that was one of the.
that was the best improv card of all time.
Yeah, no doubt. I totally agree with that statement.
So yeah, I got Holland winning that though. I think Holland, I think Holland actually gets grappling done in this one. If he does try to strike with Thompson though, I don't know.
Unanimous?
No, I think it ends. It'll end either in a KO or Holland Holland taking him out on the ground.
I don't see Stephen Thompson getting knocked out.
On the ground. Finished on the ground. Yeah, I can see him.
Oh, you're saying strike. Okay, you're saying strike.
Yeah. No.
I don't see. You know something? I don't see him getting knocked out. I think it would be like accumulation TKO, like they would.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be like Pettis or somebody like that to KO Thompson. No. We haven't seen that kind of power from Holland, so
no.
Who knows? He did fucking knock out Jacare, like fucking off his back.
Yeah.
So. Look, I can say this much. I could see Holland doing something like this. I could see him catching Thompson and capitalizing on that moment of deer in the headlights kind of deal, like with an elbow or some kind of sweep to get to transition. I could see him finishing the fight in some kind of crazy fashion like that. But at the same time, I could see Thompson like walking away with a Machida fucking like bow into the fucking unconscious, lifeless. Like,
I do not see Kevin Holland getting knocked out. I don't see him getting knocked out. I don't see it. I think if Stephen Thompson wins,
lost the Kamzat by squish. He could easily.
Stephen Thompson's not wrestling him like that.
No, he could knock him out though, bro, easily.
I don't see it.
Stephen Thompson could knock this guy out. You don't think so?
He could. No, he could.
I definitely could. He could catch him with a fucking spinning whatever, you know.
Stephen Thompson, in order for him to win, he definitely needs to use his fucking kicks, no doubt. Because Holland, I believe, has the range, so he definitely needs to fucking use his kicks. He needs to be more mobile. Holland is pretty fast, but I think Thompson has more giddy up. He's got a more proven tank also than Holland. Holland has been 5 rounds, but I think Stephen Thompson has the better tank. So he's gonna have to fucking just outgun him. And then if he does catch him, if Stephen Thompson does catch Kevin Holland, I think it's because Kevin Holland's tired. Maybe from the wrestling. We don't know.
Maybe.
It's tough to see. I'm going to say Holland decision, which I don't want because I'm going to be there live, but I see Holland decision in a good fight.
Yeah, I see Holland. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I see Holland TKO or submission, but I'll just go TKO for.
I would go for submission before TKO, honestly.
Really, you think his submission skills are that good?
He's got a couple submission wins.
You think Thompson's like ever trained wrestling? Do you think like he's ever done grappling? Like he's
fought enough guys that
they don't, right? Like they don't. Like they're just going in there. They're just doing karate all day, right?
No, but it's impossible. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and he's fought so many wrestlers in his time in the UFC. He fought Woodley twice, 3 times. So he had to train wrestling for that. He's also got Chris Weidman.
He didn't even take him down.
Bro, he's also got Chris Weidman as a teammate. You think Chris Weidman is obviously there to learn striking?
Chris Weidman is his brother-in-law. It's not just his teammate. They're like family.
And you don't think they don't wrestle?
No.
I think
I think Thompson fucking goes, fuck that shit. I'm out of here.
Imagine fucking Chris Weidman grabs in a waistlock. Daddy.
I bet you that shit happens all the time where Weidman's just like trying to fuck him up, and he's like, he's like, I don't know if you see my highlights, but I'm a karate guy. I fucking point fight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
dude, there's so many of those guys in the UFC. Like, people just don't even think about it. Like, I mean, it's just like when you find out about what's his face, BJ Penn, another famous Hawaiian, Max Holloway. We found out about Max Holloway, fucking, not sparring for like 3 years. You're like, okay. You know
we found out about that when he fucking destroyed Calvin Kattar with what 700? Was it 500 or 700 strikes?
No, it was. That fight is still like that fight.
That's the greatest. That's probably the greatest performance I've probably ever seen in the octagon.
That fight was like what, a year ago? Over a year ago?
Like 2 years ago.
And I'm still seeing, like, on a weekly basis, I'm still seeing like little things from that fight in the shorts on my YouTube, algorithm. Like, it still comes up.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. Like,
it was a virtuoso performance.
Such a huge moment. Oh, and he looks at the fucking commentary guys,
Yeah, he's fucking toying. He's toying with him because he's beating this guy's ass so bad.
He's literally like uploading.
And props to Calvin Kattar for being so damn tough. But that was a CTE giving fight.
Right there. Where was
Kattar?
Yeah, dude. Where was
Can't have too many of those. Nope.
I was gonna say, who was reffing that fight? Fucking Steve Mazzagatti, dude.
Wasn't Mark Goddard, that was for sure.
No, dude, Goddard would have ended that in the first round.
It might have been. It was either Herb or Big Dan.
It was Big Dan. Yeah, because Big Dan is turning into Mazzagatti these days. He just lets that shit go. Big Dan's just like, wow, these guys are about to die. Okay, let's stop it.
Fucking groin strike. It was a dick kick.
Yeah, dude.
Keep it up. I don't know what to tell you.
I literally feel like that's what Big Dan is now these days. He's literally like, cool. He's like, starts talking to somebody. He's like, oh shit, these guys are about to die.
He's so happy. I love seeing Big Dan in the octagon or in any cage because he's just so fucking chill and like.
Unless he's around MVP, he don't like that motherfucker.
Yeah, he does not like MVP.
He does not like MVP, bro. Like
racism.
I'm like, what is it about MVP? Because I mean, I get it, he's all flashy and shit. I mean, it's not racist.
MVP's cool as shit though.
it's something.
I would love to see MVP in the UFC. I would love to see that.
MVP?
One time at least.
He ain't gonna do that, dude.
I know he probably won't.
Well, he's also got so many things other going. Like he's doing boxing with David Hay, and he's got like. I don't think that guy's very motivated to come to UFC.
No, he's not.
And honestly, if I'm him, don't come to the UFC, bro. Trust me. Like he doesn't want any smoke from anybody.
Bro, you wouldn't want to see. You wouldn't want to see MVP versus fucking Stephen Thompson. You wouldn't want to see MVP versus like.
That's the only fight I'd love to see. Him versus Machida. Him versus Stephen Thompson. But. Yeah, if the UFC will give him fights like that, sure. But
give me him versus Bilal Muhammad. I'm just kidding,
bro. Like you imagine him versus like, I mean, this is what I mean, dude. Just not even a Bilal Muhammad, just for like a Bryce Mitchell, okay? A Bryce Mitchell, right? Not like the fucking greatest fighter.
I could see Bryce Mitchell getting his
murder MVP, bro.
I could see that. Yeah, you're right. He would grab him. He would grab, but I could also see him getting his head kicked into the second row.
No, he wouldn't even allow it. He would.
He probably wouldn't. You're absolutely right. He probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't even.
MVP can land some shit. I feel like bro, that would be the ultimate racism fight. I feel like he would frustrate. If he could frustrate Bryce Mitchell, we will hear a hard R. We will fucking hear a hard R if he frustrates him, bro.
For sure. From Mitchell, for sure, dude. From Mitchell and his mom, for sure, dude.
For sure,
his whole family, dude. Yeah. No, that would be a great.
Hey, I want to see it now. Fucking
want to see that fight, dude. Put that fight together. That would be a great intro for him into the UFC because he could go in there and murder Mitchell, actually. But I don't know. Like, let's be honest. I think Bellator is, they've given him a lot of fights. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not jump on that.
Let's go over the rest of the main card.
Co-main event: Brian Barberena versus Rafael dos Anjos. RDA. I mean, he's just MMA legend, Hall of Fame. I mean, he's he's there. Obviously, I think Barberena is hoping to kind of get over, but Barberena's a road dog, dude. He's not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm picking Barberena.
I think RDA is trying to get out.
I'm picking Barberena by decision.
Oh, dude,
I'm picking Barberena by decision.
Man. No, I go on RDA, bro, by knockout. I can't.
I feel there's an upset. And it's closer on paper than what we're saying, but
it's way closer on paper. Barberena, I think, is the favorite. No,
I don't know. I don't have the favorite.
Anyway, but. I don't know why. Yeah, like I'm asking you, like you have the betting lines right up in front of you. My bad. I don't know. I hope RDA pulls that out and maybe retires. See, get him out of there.
He's not gonna retire. He's gonna fight out his contract and then he'll go somewhere else, or
I think he's only got 1 or 2 fights left in his contract. So
yeah, well, I mean, he's mentioned he keeps wanting to get the belt, but every time he gets anywhere close to it, he doesn't.
We should probably stop having that conversation if you're his camp, because
just wait, I got the odds up. Barberena is the favorite, 3-1.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah, I got Barberena by decision.
But yeah, all right. Well, I got RDA by KO. Yeah. Next fight is Matheus Nicolou versus Matthew Christopher Snell. I don't really know what either one of these guys are gonna do. Snell is kind of on a little come up right now, but I don't. This is more of a welcome, like kind of welcome to the main card fight for both of these guys.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. I got Snell too by like wrestling in decision. Next fight we got a heavyweight. We got Tai Tuivasa versus.
Oh, this is one of the ones I'm looking forward to, baby.
This is a fucking fight, dude. Like
I'm looking forward to this one.
Tai Tuivasa is coming out, bro. Like he is. Honestly, I think him not being on such a big stage is going to be really beneficial for him.
Oh, he's gonna.
And if he hasn't been completely drinking himself under an Australian bridge for the last 6 months, then I think he's got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a
little worried that he's been because the guy is a little emotional. Yeah. So I'm a little worried he's taking that loss.
No, I've got Tuivasa by second round KO.
Yeah, I got Tuivasa too. I do want to highlight this. Pavlovich is 16-1.
He is.
He's good.
Has he been hit by a guy like Tai Tuivasa?
I don't think he's fought anybody like Tai Tuivasa, but we don't know enough about his background. I think the guy I from what I've seen on highlights, I think he could be a problem. He could be a problem.
Is he a grappler?
Yeah, he could surprise. He could surprise us, I think. So he's got the ability if let's say he gets over Tuivasa, let's say he gets over the next 2 or 3 guys, he's fighting for a title. Like he's got the record. and he's got the skills, and he could be up there. He's 16-1 at heavyweight. I mean, that's pretty fucking pretty good.
Spivich, right?
Pavlovich.
Is he on the fucking rank? He's not even ranked. No way. Oh no, he's fifth. This is 4-5. This is. I mean, bro, he's not fucking. Is he gonna face Curtis Blades next? Curtis Blades is talking about being the backup for freaking Ngannou and John.
Yeah, Blades is. Blades
isn't gonna fight fucking Pavlovich,
bro. Blades is fantasizing about John Jones right now.
I think
Blades not even caring about Pavlovich.
Logically, I think it would be Pavlovich. Then, or if he wins against Tuivasa, then Blades, and then title shot. I mean, unless they're gonna put him against Gane or Miocic, I don't think they're gonna put him against Miocic. Maybe Gane if Gane wants that fight, but it's not. I'm sure that's not gonna be fucking appealing to fucking Gane at all.
Let's see what happens this weekend first, though.
I've still got Tuivasa by KO.
Yeah, same. All right, next fight we got Jack Hermanson versus
the reshuffle.
Roman. Exactly. Roman Dolodzi. I don't know. I don't know anything about Dolodzi. I know he's 11-1. I think Hermanson is kind of he's on a weird path, man. You never know with Hermanson. I feel like
he's a gatekeeper.
He shows up or he doesn't. You know what I mean? He's always there.
Yeah.
But whether he's actually like there to perform and win a fight, I don't know.
Yeah, I've got Hermanson by decision.
Okay. Eric, next fight, middleweight, Eric Anders versus Kyle Dukakis.
Yeah, boy.
Pretty fucking good fight. You know what I mean? Like,
good fight.
Man, I want to see Eric Anders win this out. I like Eric Anders a lot.
I mean, he's going to be kind of the hometown. He's from Alabama, which is close to Florida. So,
but Dukakis is, is really good.
Dukakis, not Dukakis.
And last on the card, or never mind. No,
that's
canceled. Just kidding, guys. Oh. But
I'm really looking forward to the card. I'm really looking forward to going with my boy Jixie. Shout out Jixie. I'm hoping that it's all submission. I'm hoping it's all submissions and knockouts. One can hope. Knocking on wood. I got a wood desk, so I knocked on wood. Knocking on wood is going to be a banger of a card. In terms of, honest to God, in terms of like quality, this is other than the UFC, because I've been to every fight that's been in Orlando. So I've been to UFC Fight Night 1, Fox 1. I've been to what's it called? The fight night that had Cerrone versus RDA. And I've been to I think I have I went to the Emmett versus Stevens one, and now this is the fourth one in Orlando. So I've been to every single UFC that's been in Orlando. This is, in terms of the quality of the card, it's one besides UFC on Fox 1, it's pretty up there. So I have high hopes for this, and I'm hoping it delivers for sure.
Yeah, I hope so too.
We'll let you know in the next episode how it delivered.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'll definitely have more updates for us. Be cool to get your perspective.
Yeah,
it'd really be the first episode we have with you going live to an event. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
I've been to,
right after.
This will be my 10th UFC that I've been to. This will be the 10th one I think I've been to. Or no, it's either 10 or 8, one or the other.
God dang, man.
Yeah, man.
UFC events.
This will be the 10th one live. I'm looking forward to it though, dude, for sure. So let's go and wrap this bitch up, bro.
Yep.
Let's go and wrap this up. We'll go ahead. Let me take the lead on this, like we always do. Shout out to our boy Sean at W2M Network for editing us and keeping us on his channel. We have an official what's it called? Feed now. We have our official feed. Now you can look up MMA for Marks on wherever you want to consume us, whether that would
you can just straight up Google it. We're right there. We're on Spotify,
right there. Spotify, Apple, excuse me, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts. Wherever you want to consume us, you'll find us there. If you want to see the video versions of this, you can check us out on the W2M Network YouTube page. We are going to work on putting content on our old YouTube page. If you guys hopefully still follow us on there, we're going to work on shorts for YouTube page, as well as perhaps W2M TikTok. I'm not a TikTok person. Andy is. So, we'll see how that goes out. Either. Well, you know more about TikTok than I do. I'm aware of it. Yeah, I fucking despise TikTok.
I don't pretend like I don't know what it is.
Well, we want to fucking basically we want to get as much content to you guys as possible for you to consume, enjoy us. to me, right off the bat, I'll say this on air. This is one, to me, this is the best, other than our first episode, this is the best episode we've done. I feel that right now. And we'll talk about it more off the air, Andy, but just saying that on air.
Dang, that's like, a lot, bro. That's a lot of pressure on this episode.
I love this episode, dude. This is a fantastic episode. But yeah, if you want to follow me on socials, follow me on Twitter at SHOSTOPPA24. That's Showstopper24. You can follow me on my podcast Instagram, podcast.senpai. You can follow us on our MMA for Marks Instagram. That is MMA number 4 Marks. Please, we have a Facebook page. That is where you'll find us most active, is on Facebook. MMA number 4 Marks. Check us out there and give us a like. We also have a Facebook group that we'd be more than happy to have you guys join. It's Sting Like a Butterfly. Just let us know when you add or when you try to join that you heard us on the MMA for Marks page. We'll definitely shout you out. Again, those are probably our 2 biggest like areas where we where we interact, is on Facebook. So
and it's separate from MMA for Marks.
It is separate, but
it's, you know, it's connected to some friends of ours that we have, you know, that we enjoy, you know, having MMA content, and we, you know, do memes and stuff on there. But it's a cool page to be a part of. If you want to check it out, definitely.
You'll get to talk to us, like I said, almost probably every day. On there, we're always posting any type of combat sports. On there, our friend Angel loves doing whenever any card drops, any live predictions, things of that nature. So it's a good time, a great interaction with ourselves and our friends that we all consider as part of our little MMA community that we have amongst ourselves. One more piece of information, on any of my socials, there's a link tree. You can follow all of MMA for Marks's locations on there as well as my other podcast, Talk the Kicky podcast. Shout out to Matt from that one, also on W2M Network, also available on any other location you wish to consume us, Apple, Spotify, etc. So you can follow us as well as any of my other productions as well. Andy, do you have any plugs, buddy?
No, I was just gonna say, just follow us up, you know, on Facebook. I feel like we're getting there. It's cool. It's cool to be able to have, you know, to just throw this kind of information out, you know, be like, check out the Spotify.
We're official now, baby. You know, we're fucking official.
Feels that way. Yeah, it's official. So
we're going places, guys. Please come along for the ride.
And if you guys feeling like joining it, you know what I mean? If not, just catch us back here. We're gonna try to be here every week. You know, of course we got life going on, but UFC's never stops. It never ever stops.
Combat sports life never stops, dude. And that's why we have content to talk about and share with you every week, guys.
Is these episodes like on Facebook for sure? Like they stay on there, like when they upload, like when we live stream these things?
They're posts. They're posts. They're live posts.
So does this? Oh, okay.
They're like posting like, hey, I have a hard cock. And it's on there forever until you delete it.
Right. Until you delete it.
Well,
you can't delete it. It's the internet. It's on there forever. It's
not. You're right. It is on there forever. You'll never get rid of us.
Thing about the internet, dude.
You'll never get rid of us, motherfuckers. We'll always be here, and we want to be here for as long as you guys allow us to be here. Straight up.
Well, I mean, even if they don't allow us to be here, we can just record to each other. You know,
and we'll just like we used to do, and then we'll probably end up starting another podcast where we talk shit about fucking shitty love lives and how fucked up the military and the USA is, and how the world is coming to an end. But you know, hey,
whoa, it was a lot at the end, dude. Whoa, whoa. But anyway, guys, well, we love you guys and thanks, and we'll see you guys next week. And let's get out of here, man.
Matane minasan.
If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing.